All right, welcome back, everybody. We have our newest assignment up here, and it is the number 11, and it's the blue disc collector. We're going to collect some blue discs. Now, look, what we're going to learn here is that our robot actually has a camera that we haven't been using. It's not a camera, but it's a color sensor that looks straight down, so it can tell what colors are right underneath it. So if it drives over a line, or in our case, one of these colored disc objects. And we're also going to be using the robot's electromagnet, or in the code it's called a magnet. So we're going to use the down eye in the code and magnet. Let's take a look real quick. Here's what it's going to do, and I'll explain a little bit of what's going on here. So let's watch this program. We are in the disc mover playground today. Okay, so you can see there's these discs that are out here. And watch what our robot does. When we get our program done correctly, this is what it's going to do, and I'm going to show you how to do this. Drives forward, there's an eye looking down, and when it sees color, if it's the right color, it stops and it turns on a magnet, a powerful electromagnet that picks up the disc. So it's going to keep going. It's looking for blue, looking for blue, looking for blue. Ah, I see blue. Stop. Turn on the magnet, pick it up, and it goes all the way back here. And eventually it backs up and it lets it go. It turns off the magnet. See, it stacks them up right there. So again, it's going to go looking for blue, looking for blue. Ah, I see blue. Stop, pick it up, turn on the magnet, the electromagnet. Come all the way back here until you hit the wall. You'll know that you need to back up a little bit to get in the middle of the square and then drop it off. Okay? So how does it do that? Well, looking down on the robot, you can see that it has some sensors that look down and it has an electromagnet. So what is a color sensor like? Well, on the Lego robots that we actually have at school, it looks kind of like this. Of course, on our robot, these are facing down, but one of these is a light that shines onto the object. The other one is a little, kind of like a camera, I guess, sort of, that just senses what color it's seeing from that reflected light. And an electromagnet, how does that work? Well, those discs, in our example, these discs were actually made out of, they must be made out of metal or something ferrous. Fe is, on the table of elements, it's Fe is iron. Oh, my dogs are going crazy. And that iron makes it so that magnets can attract it. So these must be ferrous metal magnets. And let's take a look and see. Here's a YouTube video that shows an electromagnet. It's basically a magnet that only works when you put electricity through it. Okay? So we can, I'm going to mute this, but you can see what this guy's doing. He puts electricity to this electromagnet. When he clips on the electromagnet and turns on the electricity through the battery, then it's on and it's activated. It'll pick stuff up. So you can see here, he's picked up a bunch of paper clips with his electromagnet. And watch what happens when he lets go of this wire. So when you turn the electricity off, which our robot can turn it on and off whenever it wants to. Watch what happens to the paper clips once he turns it off. So watch when this wire gets disconnected. Disconnects it. Oh, and all the magnets fall instantly and just get dropped onto the ground. So that's what we're dealing with this week's robotics project. We have two new things that we're learning completely. One of them is the down eye to detect when we see a color. And then once we see the color, we do some things. We turn the magnet on, and it grabs that disc, and then we bring it back, and we go over to here. And we got to know, it's kind of hard to determine when you're here. That's why we had to bounce the robot off the wall and then back up, and then let him go right there when we turn that magnet off. All right, cool. So that's what we're working on today. Let's go ahead and get started on that assignment. We're going to walk through that one together. This is a do together assignment. We're going to do together. All right. So let's go ahead and get going on this. And as always, we don't need to guess. We look at the assignment for instructions. Carefully watch the video. You're doing that right now. You don't see a video here because I'm recording it. I can't put it up yet. Okay, vr.vex.com. Okay, cool. Let's do that. We open up our window here. Well, my internet is a little bit sluggish, as always. Okay. Change the name of the program to Your Name and Blue Disc Collector. Okay, copy that. Click up here. Jeremy Woodchick, Blue Disc Collector. I guess I did use that copy, did I? Okay, so rename it. Cool. Incorrectly? Yep, got it. Now when I download the file, I'll know exactly which one to turn in. All right, that's important. And if Mr. Woodchick gets a file screwed up, I'll have your name on it too. I'll know whose it is. All right, open the playground and switch to Disk Mover. Oh, we got a new playground to use this week, and it's called Disk Mover. There it is, Disk Mover. And did you notice in that video, you can make this actually bigger? I kind of just figured that out. You can expand it to make it bigger. Okay, so just figured that one out. And since I have green screen on now, I might be able to get away with doing that. Yeah, well, maybe not. That's still a bit too big, isn't it? Okay, well, whatever. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get going. We're going to get rid of this thing and go back to our rules. Code a program that moves all the blue disks just into the goal area. So this is going to be, you're going to be working along with me and copying me on this one. All right. Let's get going. So first of all, what we want to do is we want to make, we'll loop it later and make it go and do this 3 times because there's 3 disks to grab. But in general, we don't want to have to code it each distance for each disk. So what we're going to do is we're going to have it use the sensor to look down until it sees blue. Okay. So watch, we know how to kind of do that. It's just a little different than what we did with the bumper sensors last week. So we put down drive forward forever, but it's not really going to go forever because we're going to say go forward forever, but wait until something happens. And this time, the something that's happening is going to be a little bit different. It's when the down eye detects that it's looking at blue. Okay, so that eye that's looking down, it's always just looking at the ground. We're going to go here and let's see here where we go. Here we go. Eye sensing. Okay, you see this one? Front eye detects red. No. We're going to change that. We're going to drag that one out, put it until it docks. And we're going to look for the down eye seeing blue. It's very important. This has to be changed. Otherwise, it'll never see those disks. Because remember, it has a front eye that looks forward, but we don't want that. That won't work for this. It'll look right over the top of those disks. So we want down eye detects blue. Okay, what's going to happen there? Well, this is a little bit of a new one. You know what I found is that we have to actually stop the robot and wait for just like half a second. Otherwise, it glitches out and it just doesn't detect it right. Okay, so we're going to stop driving. So see this? We haven't used this one yet. Just, hey, stop driving. Stop this robot. Okay, and then what are we going to do? And again, we haven't used this one either, but it's pretty simple to understand. The robot's going to wait. You can have 1 second. That's fine. I'm going to shorten it down to 0.5, which is half of a second. Okay, if you want to wait 1 second, you can do that. No problem. I'm going to speed up my code a little bit because you guys have to watch it every time I run it. So I'm going to go with 1/2 of a second. That seemed to work pretty good. And then what do we want to do? Well, at that point, let's see what happens. Watch. Let's make this larger. Let's see. Okay, so our robot goes, it's looking down, no blue. Okay, it sees blue and then it stops. And it waits 5.5 seconds. Okay, so you can see our robot is right where it needs to be. It's right on top of that, waiting, and it's right where it needs to be because it detected, hey man, I'm on top of blue. Okay? All right. So now at this point, what we want to do is we want to turn on our magnet. Now in our code, let's turn this down a bit. In our code, we go up here, see where it says it's below a lot of the movement stuff. Energize magnet to boost. We saw what happens when an electromagnet gets energized. It picks up stuff that is magnetic or ferrous. Meaning ferrous means has iron in it, right? All right, so we're going to pick up this thing. Let's see if this picks it up. Let's see if we can see it. I don't know. Maybe it won't. We may not be able to tell. Drive forward. We're looking for blue. Looking for blue. There it is. Oh, hey, it picked it up. Great. Waited half a second. Then it picked it up. Cool. That seems really good so far. Now we need to bring it back. The problem is the robot doesn't have any sensors if we tell it to drive backwards. So we need to turn it around forward. Or excuse me, my bad. Let's try that again. We need to turn it around to the other direction, which is backwards, which would be 180 degrees. So we're going to go, we're going to pick up the disc, wait, pick up the disc, and turn around backwards. Now we're going to go until we hit one of our bumpers. We know how to do that from last week. We drive forward, okay? And what do? We drive forward and we wait until, there it is, wait until. And we're going to wait until either the left or the right bumper is pressed. We learned how to do that last week. Old news. Or left bumper triggers it, but also the right bumper would trigger it. Either one would trigger this robot to stop and know that it ran into a wall. We could probably get away with just the left bumper because we are going to hit square against it, but let's just be safe. Let's do it the best way possible. So again, what does this mean? It means we're not waiting for the left bumper or the right bumper. Ooh, we need to change that, don't we? We better do that. We're waiting for the left bumper or the right bumper. Either one is good enough to tell our robot, like, hey, you hit a wall. What do? Now, what I found is, this is kind of a weird one, but at that point, what we want to do is we want to reverse our robot and back up a little bit. And I'll show you why right here. It just gets us off of the wall. Okay, so let's watch. We're driving forward, looking down for blue, looking down for blue. Oh, hey, there's some blue. Grab it, turn on the magnet, turn around. And now we're going to wait until either bumper is pressed. And then we're going to... Oh, Mr. Woodchick screwed up. We're going to drive backwards and reverse. I forgot to change the reverse. See, this is why even the teacher needs to try out the code, right? Because this is why I tell you, keep playing it and seeing if it works every time. Because even the teacher can make mistakes. Okay, now it's going to go backwards, and we're right in the middle of the goal. You know what it's time to do? I would say that I'm going to, again, I like to put a wait in there so you can see what's happening. I'm going to wait for half a second, and then I'm going to let go of this thing. How do you do that? You just energize the magnet, and we're going to change it instead of to boost, we're going to change it to drop. So it's going to cut off the electromagnetic current, and those things, and that disc should drop now. And then we're going to back up a little bit more after that. The reason is because the wheels, if we don't, we're going to back up before we turn, just like 100, let's say. Because if we don't, the wheels of the robot will turn and grab and push the discs out of the way and move them. We don't want that. Okay, cool. So let's do this. See if I got it right. Yep, we saw it. We stopped. We waited half a second. We touch the wall. We back up. We wait half a second. Ooh. Again, I forgot to change that to reverse. So let's do that again. Yeah, we're getting there. Grab that. Yep. Turn around. Waiting for the wall. Oh, we hit a wall. Back up. Let go. Reverse a little more. Now you can see it's out of the way, and the robot's not going to run into the disc when I turn it around backwards. So now we're going to turn right, and we're going to turn 180. 180 degrees turns around backwards. And guess what, guys? After this, we are ready to grab the next disc. Do you know what the good news is? You don't have any more programming to do, really. You just need to repeat this. Oh, let go of it, back up a little bit so our wheels don't hit it. And now we're facing forward, and we're ready to go forward until we see another disc and grab it and do the whole thing again. So at this point, many of you know we got 1, 2, 3 discs to grab. We can do that. Hey, now look, hold on. If you wanted to go crazy and redo all of this stuff, you could, but the easiest way to do it is just drag it out and put this around here, and we're going to repeat it 3 times. As always, we always check our code to make sure that it works. If it works right, it's going to stack all 3 discs right in here at the end, and then the robot's going to stop the program. Here, let's put that in there too. Stop the project at the end of the loop, after the loop's over. Okay, waiting until we see blue. Stop driving, wait half a second, grab the magnet. There we go, we're coming back. Bumper press, back up, let go of it, back up a little bit, and turn around. And then it loops, and now we're doing the same thing again. Let's take a look at this. Make it bigger. There it is. Grabbing the second one, and now our robot's on the 3rd loop, going through the code. I'm going to move that so you can see the code a little bit. I'm going to grab it, it's right up there. Grabbing it. Hit the wall, back up. Drop it off, move back a little bit so our wheels clear it and we don't knock our stack over. Guess what? We're done with this assignment. hey, this looks really good. Now, I'm going to show you two things you need to do. One of them is what we usually don't do, but listen, your next project is going to use code basically that's just exactly like this. Let's see here. So you're going to modify this code. You know what that means? It means you want to save this code right now. So first of all, you don't turn this part in. You turn in the PDF we're going to download next. Let's go File, and then Save to your device. And then this way you can reload your code for the next assignment. Save to your device. Now look, since I put my name on it already, I have it already downloaded in there, and look at it. There it is. Jeremy Woodchick Blue Disc Collector VR Blocks. This is for you to open up later for assignment number 12. It'll help you a lot. If you don't do this, fine with me, but you're going to have to redo everything we just did. So save yourself some time later. I'm trying to help you out here. Okay, that doesn't get turned into me. The part that I want to see is the shared PDF file. So you've downloaded that one. That's going to be for you in project number 12. I'm going to get to that later. The part where you want to get credit for what you did right now, you got to do that too. So let's do that. We go up here to the corner and we click the share button. Make sure that since our name's already on it, it downloads it with the correct name. And then we're going to go to the assignment. Hold on, these dogs are... Okay, I'm back. Kick the dogs outside. So we're going to go to the assignment. Here it is, number 11, Blue Disc Collector, and Submit Assignment. You got to choose your file. And hey, look, I'm telling you, if you click on this, the one that's not the PDF, it won't submit. It won't accept it. It won't allow you. So you have to make sure you get the one that's the PDF. I'm going to open that one. .pdf. Okay, good. And then I'm going to submit the assignment. Okay. So there you go. Now we have it saved. We're ready to do assignment number 12 later, and this is really going to help you. If you didn't do that part, you're going to have to redo that all. So I hope you did. And then you've also downloaded the PDF, and that's the one that gets turned into me. All right, everybody, we'll see you on the next video. In the next video, we're going to be doing the same thing, but I'm going to challenge you to modify and change the code to move the robot over so it's in the right position to grab the red blocks. All righty, thanks everyone.